Hey everybody, Noah Kellman here, and welcome to my channel about modern jazz piano. Today I want to do something kind of interesting and talk to you about mental practice techniques. So as someone who has gone through a lot of different injuries, and actually I'm dealing with a bit of an injury right now, one of the things I'm doing is spending a lot of time practicing away from the piano. And it's funny because every time I'm feeling amazing physically and I spend even hours a day at the piano, I start to actually forget just how much progress you can make away from the piano. And in some cases, you can actually make more progress, right? So I want to show you some of the techniques that I actually use to really improve my playing without ever playing a note or even sitting down in front of a keyboard. In fact, these are so essential that I would very highly recommend you practice regardless of whether or not you are feeling physically and technically fit in your hands, right? These techniques have helped me personally, I think, build my ears so far, and I would not trade my time working on these mental techniques for anything. So without further ado, let's check this out. So one of the things I like to work on is taking a really tricky progression, something that I can't quite hear yet, and basically learning to improvise over it in my head. So what if we take something like giant steps, for example? So this is a really tricky one, right? We got B major to D7 to G major to B flat 7 to E flat major. Wow, okay. So one thing I will actually do, sometimes I'll start by just playing a bass note on the piano and actually singing an improvisation in my head. I'll try to sing this out loud for you, even though it's gonna be painful. But normally I would do this in my head. And if I got stuck, I would stop. So you'll actually be able to notice in your head, are you really hearing what's happening? And if the answer is no, then I highly recommend that you simply stop and start again. So you can start again. This is step one. You start with the bass note in your left hand and do this in your head. But then step two is we're going to get rid of that bass note in the left hand and see if we can really hear the progression in our head as well. So. Wow, okay. So sorry about that. Sorry that you have to listen to that. Normally I would just do this completely in my head, but I want you, of course, to hear what I'm hearing. So let's say that I messed up though. Let's say that I couldn't get these first two chords. So I close my eyes and try to really formulate some lines. So I'm going to start on the 5th, F sharp. All right, so that was very arpeggiated. Let's see if we can form something a little bit more bebop oriented here, a little more chromatic. All right, cool. So you can hear how the gears are kind of turning. Now, I might not have been able to do this as fast at first, right? So I might have to really figure out some of these lines in my head, sing them over and over until I've got it. So, okay, that didn't work. Okay. All right, so that is the process, right? It can be really painful and tedious, but this is how we do it. Now, once you can go through the whole song and do this comfortably, your next step is, I don't even want you playing a bass note in your left hand. I want you to actually just get into your head. First of all, you can start by just singing the progression. So we start with the first note. Ba da 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 ba da da ba da 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 ba da da ba da da. So you see I got a little tripped up there. I'm pretty sure I did the rest right, just singing the bass notes in my head, right? And I think I could still do that a little better than I did there, but you get the point. So you want to really be able to visualize the notes in your head, and you could actually check yourself like this. So, ba 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 ba, right? And just kind of go like that and so on. So if you're trying to learn a tricky tune, in my opinion, doing things this way is going to take you there much faster than simply playing it on the piano. Playing it on the piano, you're going to get away with cheating a little bit, cheating your ears. You're probably going to be playing things you're not really hearing. Doing it this way is going to ensure that you are hearing the progression, because you can't cheat when you're in your head, right? You're going to get mixed up. So once you've got that in your head, now I want you to actually be improvising in your head. All right, so let's give this a shot completely in the head. I'm going to just use a starting pitch. So let's see. There, I visualized myself landing on a D. I was a little flat, but yeah, landed on a D. Okay, let's try starting at the next part of the progression on a G. So that should be a B flat. I think I sang it a little flat. Cool, there we go. All right, cool. So I was able to know exactly where I was in my head and even know where I landed and check myself. So if you can actually do this, by the way, again, I would not sing this out loud normally. I would actually just do this in my head. But if you can do that, check against yourself and be like, cool, I am nailing these changes in my head, then you know now you are ready to truly sit down at the piano and start improvising. Now you can do this kind of visual practice not just with lines, but even with chords. So, a few videos ago I talked about singing up a chord, right? So if we have this chord, you have to go 1 flat 7 3 13 9. Ouch. Right? Be able to actually sing up it that way. Well, you could do the same thing in your head, right? Without ever being at the piano, you could actually learn voicings and even comp, right? And start to actually see and hear voicings in your head. So these are some of my favorite practice techniques, because I might be walking around, I might be on the move, I might be in the car, I might be walking around a store, and I can actually practice a song in my head. So you would not believe, right? They talk about 10,000 hours, right? To truly master something, you need 10,000 hours of practice. Well, in my opinion, if you are doing this in your head, that time actually counts toward those 10,000 hours. You are totally building up your ears. So I highly recommend you do this type of mental practice as much as you possibly can, and it is going to speed up your progress to a point where you won't even believe it. All right, I hope you enjoyed this lesson on mental practice. It's something that I have done for many, many years, and I think it's helped me immensely, so highly recommend you check it out. And if you do try it out, please let me know how you do with it in the comments. Also, if you're someone who would like some help actually formulating a personalized plan for you, feel free to click the link in the description to set up a free strategy call with either myself or one of my teammates, and we can talk about what the best plan for you would look like and if working together on that would actually make sense. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider clicking the subscribe button and the little bell to turn on notifications so you don't miss any more videos just like this one. And if you got a lot out of the video, please be sure to click the like button. It really helps me out. All right, thank you so much, and I will see you next time.